If you can train your mind to stay clear under pressure, you can win in any situation, because nothing outside of you will ever have the power to break you on the inside. That's not just a feel-good quote. That's the fundamental truth of a successful life. Most people never grasp this. They spend their lives trying to fix everything around them: their job, their relationships, their financial situation. But they never seize control of the one thing that truly matters: their own mind. If you're enjoying this way of thinking, do me a favor right now. Hit that like button, drop a comment below with the one area you want to win in, and make sure you subscribe to Audiobook Bites for more content that builds a champion's mindset. Let's get back to it. If your thinking is weak, your emotions will run your life. If your thoughts are scattered, you'll perpetually feel like you're falling behind, watching others succeed while you're stuck in place. But if your mind is sharp, steady, and trained, you become the person who doesn't break under the weight of expectation. You become the person who doesn't panic when the stock market dips or when a project at work goes sideways. You become the person who simply does not quit. This audiobook isn't here to entertain you. It's here to serve as a wake-up call. It's a tool to help you forge the kind of mindset that thrives under pressure, that remains calm in the middle of chaos, and that knows how to find a path to victory when everything seems to be going wrong. You don't need more hype. You need a structure. You need a new internal standard. And that standard begins to be built right now, with the first lesson in how to train your mind to win in every conceivable situation. Chapter 1. Own your day by thinking strong right after waking. This is the starting line. This is where the entire race is won or lost. If you can decisively win your first hour, you can win your entire day. Think about the average American morning. The alarm goes off, and before their feet even touch the floor, their hand reaches for the phone. They are immediately flooded with the chaos of the outside world. Work emails from the East Coast, notifications from Instagram, headlines about political turmoil, and the subtle, corrosive anxiety that comes from comparing their life to the curated highlight reels of others. That is the first and most critical mistake. What you do in that first hour dictates your trajectory for the next 16. It sets the psychological tone. Your mind will either work for you as a focused tool for achieving your goals, or it will work against you as a reactive machine responding to everyone else's agenda. You have to decide right now to treat that first hour as sacred ground. It's the foundation upon which you build your entire day. And if the foundation is cracked, the structure will crumble. Here's the unvarnished truth. If you wake up with negative thinking, replaying yesterday's failures, if you wake up consumed by self-doubt, wondering if you have what it takes, if you wake up sluggish and mentally careless, your day is already lost before it has begun. But if you wake up and immediately take command of your thoughts, you begin to construct a mindset that is engineered for victory. A mind like that isn't shaken by the noise of social media. It doesn't capitulate when the first challenge of the day appears. It stays ready, it stays sharp, and it is prepared to handle whatever comes its way. I'm not talking about fleeting motivation. I'm talking about unwavering direction. I'm talking about waking up with a profound sense of clarity, knowing exactly what you stand for and what you are driving toward. It's about deciding how you are going to think, because you can either let the world push you around, or you can set the frame for your thoughts and lead yourself with intention. Most people don't lead themselves. They wait for the day to tell them how to feel. They scroll through their feeds, get triggered by a comment, see an email that sets them on edge, and by the time they're having their first cup of coffee, they've already surrendered control of their emotions. That's not a strong mind. That's a passive mind. and a passive mind never wins championships. You have to be intentional. This means when you wake up, you decide what kind of day you are going to create through your actions and perceptions. You decide how you will respond to the inevitable setbacks. You consciously choose which thoughts deserve your precious mental real estate, and you ruthlessly evict the rest. It's about getting clear before the world attempts to confuse you. It's about grounding yourself in your purpose before anything has a chance to shake you. And the earlier you do this, the stronger your grip will be on the rest of your day. Here is a practical, actionable step you can take tomorrow morning. When you wake up, before you touch your phone, before your feet hit the floor, take exactly 60 seconds to speak truth to yourself. Not empty hype, but grounded truth. Say it out loud. Today, I will stay clear. Today, I will push forward on my key priorities. Today, I will not give my energy to useless, negative thinking. And you have to mean it. You don't need a 10-hour planning session or fancy productivity apps. You need a single, powerful decision made in the first moments of consciousness. You have to build that mental sharpness like a muscle, and that first hour is your training ground. It's your space. It's your time to get centered. No one else gets to write the first chapter of your day unless you hand them the pen. Too many people give it away freely. They start their day reacting to everyone else's emergencies. You cannot win like that. You can't build strength by constantly reacting. You build strength by leading your own mind. So here is the challenge. For the next 7 days, no phone for the first hour. No messages, no social media, no news. Just your thoughts, your goals, your direction. Review your plan for the day. Think about what truly matters. Visualize how you want to show up in that important meeting or during that difficult conversation. Remind yourself what you are chasing and tell yourself, today, I'm going to act like it. This is what high performers do. They don't wait for the day to fall apart to get serious. They start serious. They begin with discipline. They begin with focus. And it shows in the quality of everything they do. Now listen, you're not always going to feel like it. That's the second test. Some mornings, you'll wake up tired. Some mornings, your mind will try to talk you out of it, whispering excuses. That is your weaker self trying to pull you back into mediocrity. If you let it win in the morning, it will haunt you for the rest of the day. So when that voice shows up, you must recognize it, catch it, and push past it. Remind yourself, I run my life. I set the tone. I choose my thoughts. That is the process of building mental fortitude. That is how you stop being owned by your fleeting emotions. The reason so many people fail to change is because they allow the first thoughts of the day to control them. They don't guard their mind. They don't take that first hour seriously. And that 1 weak hour becomes 1 weak day. That weak day bleeds into a weak week. And before they know it, they've lost months of potential progress, all because they failed to think strong right after waking up. So, what should you do? Keep it simple. Start with awareness. Know what kind of thoughts you're thinking in the morning. Write them down in a journal if you have to. Pay attention to the narrative you're telling yourself. Is it strong? Is it focused? Is it empowering you? If not, change it. That is your job. No one else can do that for you. And when you shift your thinking, your energy shifts. Your entire attitude shifts. You stop dragging through the day, and you start driving through it. Another thing, get up with purpose. Don't hit the snooze button. That's a negotiation with mediocrity. Get out of bed like someone who is serious about their life, because how you start is how you finish. That first physical action sets everything in motion. When you get up strong, you send a signal to your mind. We're not here to coast. We're here to grow. That message sticks, and your brain begins to align with that command. Also, keep your immediate space clean. Keep your environment focused. The less clutter you see, the less noise you'll have in your head. Your mind reflects what you surround it with. If your morning feels messy, look around. Clean it up. Create a space where your thoughts can breathe. This isn't an extra task. It's an essential one. Strong minds are built and maintained in strong environments. This isn't just about motivation. This is strategy. It's what winners do. They guard their mornings. They train their thinking. They don't let the world dictate how they feel. They choose their mindset. And when you build that habit, when you choose to think strong right after waking, you begin to build a mind that can win in any situation. And here's what's most powerful. Once you do it for a while, it gets easier. Your brain starts to expect it. It begins to cooperate. You start to feel different. You walk with more control. You stop getting thrown off course by minor problems. You begin to think with clarity. You begin to act with an undercurrent of strength. And every day you do it, you prove to yourself that you are capable of leading your own life. So if you want to train your mind to win, start with the moment you open your eyes. Don't waste that first hour. Don't start slow. Don't hand your mind over to distraction. Start with power. Start with direction. Start with strength. And don't just do it once. Do it again tomorrow. Do it until your mind knows how to win without needing your permission. That's when you've truly built something. That's when the outside world can't shake what you've built inside. Train your mind right after waking, and soon you'll start winning every single time. Chapter 2. Protect your focus by turning off all distractions. Most people lose their day not because they lack time, but because they have failed to protect their focus. They allow a constant stream of minor interruptions to pull them in a dozen different directions. It happens so subtly, they don't even notice the cumulative damage. One notification from a work app, one text message from a friend, one quick scroll through a social media feed, one stray thought about something that doesn't matter in the grand scheme of things. And just like that, their focus is shattered. Their mind is split. Their energy is scattered. And now they're moving through the day reacting to stimuli instead of leading with intention. You cannot build anything of meaning that way. If you want to win in your career, in your personal goals, in your life, you have to become absolutely serious about protecting your focus. Distractions are not just minor annoyances. They are the insidious barriers standing between where you are and where you desperately want to be. Every time you stop what you're doing to check something that doesn't matter, every time you respond to a message that isn't urgent, every time you allow something to steal your attention, you are willingly giving away your power. You're giving away your clarity, and your mind loses its sharpness, not because you're incapable, but because you are not guarding your mental space. If you want to develop a mind that wins, you must be ruthless in removing what weakens it. That means turning off the things that do not serve your ultimate purpose. And you know exactly what those things are. You don't need a consultant to tell you what your primary distractions are. You feel it. You know when your mind is being pulled in the wrong direction. You know when you're wasting precious minutes and hours. You know when you're actively avoiding the deep work that truly matters. That's where discipline must enter the equation. You can't wait to feel like focusing. You have to choose to focus, even when 1,000 things around you are engineered to break that focus. Start with your physical and digital environment. If your phone keeps buzzing, put it in silent mode and place it in another room. If social media apps keep pulling you in, delete them from your phone from Monday to Friday. If noise is a constant interruption, invest in noise-canceling headphones or find a quiet space. Do not negotiate with your distractions. You must eliminate them. If something is consistently pulling you away from your goals, it does not deserve your time. You don't need to explain this decision to anyone. You don't need to justify it. You just need to act. That is how you protect your mind. That is how you keep your thinking clear. Because once you allow one small distraction to enter, more will inevitably follow, and soon you'll be spending your most valuable energy on things that mean absolutely nothing. You don't need a perfect, complicated system. You just need to start valuing your time as your most finite resource. Stop letting everyone have unfettered access to you 24/7. You are not here to answer every call the moment it comes in. You are not here to scroll through an endless feed of noise. You are here to grow. You are here to work on yourself. You are here to move forward. And if anything stands in the way of that, it needs to be removed. This isn't about being rude. It's about being responsible. You are responsible for your own focus. You are responsible for your own improvement. When your mind is clear, you feel stronger. You get more done in 2 hours of focused work than in 8 hours of distracted activity. You make better, more thoughtful decisions. You stop second-guessing yourself. You stop rushing. You begin to move with a quiet purpose. Not everything is an emergency. Not everything requires your immediate attention. You have to stop giving your mind to things that drain you. Some conversations don't need to happen. Some messages don't need an instant reply. Some notifications don't need to be seen. And once you truly internalize that, your life begins to change. Your mental space is like your workspace. If it's filled with junk, there's no room to move, no room to think clearly. But when it's clean and organized, you feel better. You can move faster. You're not tripping over things that don't belong there. It's precisely the same with your mind. If you want to think at a higher level, you need to protect your focus as if your future depends on it, because it does. You wouldn't let a stranger walk into your house uninvited. So why do you let random distractions walk into your brain and take over? Give yourself dedicated blocks of time where nothing gets in. This is your deep work time. It is your time to focus, to think, to create, to solve problems, to grow. And during that time, you must make a non-negotiable rule. No checking email, no switching tasks, no reacting to anything outside of your primary objective. If something is a true life-or-death emergency, it will find its way to you. But 99.9% of what tries to steal your focus isn't urgent. It's just noise dressed up to feel important. And if you don't learn to control that noise, you'll live your entire life bouncing between trivialities that mean nothing. Protecting your focus doesn't mean isolating yourself from the world. It means consciously deciding what deserves your energy and what does not. It means choosing depth over shallowness. It means giving your full, undivided mind to what you value. When you do that, you feel different. You stop feeling drained at the end of the day. You stop feeling lost and unproductive. You start feeling a sense of progress. You start building momentum. You begin to trust yourself more because you're actually following through on your intentions. You're not just staying busy, you're becoming effective. There's a universe of difference between being busy and being focused. Busy means your mind is jumping from one thing to the next, like a pinball. Focused means you are locked in on what matters most. Most people live busy lives. They mistake this frantic activity for hard work. But real hard work is focused work. It's quiet, it's clear, and it produces tangible results. You can scroll on your phone all day and feel like you're doing something, but you'll end the day feeling empty and unfulfilled. Focus doesn't give you that feeling. Focus fills you up. It sharpens you. It gives you something solid to stand on. You have got to be ruthless about your time, not in a harsh way, but in a disciplined way. People who win in life don't get lucky. They get serious. They protect their energy. They cut out what slows them down. They understand the immense value of a clear mind, and they do not let distractions dictate how their day will unfold. That is the level you need to aim for. The level where you no longer tolerate habits that pull you away from the person you are striving to become. It starts with simple, concrete decisions. Keep your phone in another room while you're working. Turn off all non-essential notifications on your computer and phone. Schedule your thinking time and protect it as fiercely as you would a meeting with a top CEO. Stop opening a dozen tabs in your browser that you don't need. Stop checking messages that can wait. These actions may feel small, but they build a stronger you. They train your mind to stay with the task, to go deeper into the work. And that is when real growth happens. You don't rise by chance. You rise by choice. You rise by doing the things that most people are unwilling to do. Focus is one of those things. It's a habit that separates the individuals who make consistent progress from those who remain stuck in the same place, year after year. You cannot afford to lose hours each day to distraction. That is your life slipping through your fingers. That is your vision being perpetually delayed. Every hour spent unfocused is an hour you will never get back. So, choose now. Decide what you are willing to remove from your life. Decide what habits need to be broken. Choose to stop giving your attention to things that have nothing to do with your long-term goals. You're not here to chase noise. You're here to build a life that matters. You're here to shape a mindset that wins. And that kind of mind requires focus. Not once in a while. Not just on some days. Every single day. Guard your mind like it's the most valuable asset you have. Because it is. Your future is entirely dependent on how you use it. So stop handing it away to trivial distractions. Train it to stay strong. Train it to stay with the task. Train it to push through boredom and resistance. That is how winners think. That is how winners work. And that is how you start living the life you know you are capable of. Chapter 3. Build toughness by doing what feels uncomfortable daily. Most people want to grow, but they want to do it without experiencing discomfort. They want strength without the struggle. They want progress without the pressure. But it simply does not work that way. If you want to be tough, you have to earn it. You have to build it. And the only way to build it is by intentionally doing things that make you uncomfortable. Not once in a while. Not just when it's convenient. But every single day. That is how you build a mind that does not break under pressure. That is how you train yourself to face life head-on and not run from it. You cannot wait for life to get easier. You have to get stronger. You have to start doing the hard things, not because they are fun, but because they build something essential within you. Every time you lean into discomfort, you gain something invaluable. You grow your patience. You build your resilience, you stretch your perceived limits, and most importantly, you learn that you are capable of far more than you previously thought. But if you constantly avoid what's uncomfortable, you never discover what's possible. You stay small, you stay soft, and your true potential remains locked away, dormant and untapped. Toughness isn't a trait you're born with. It's a character trait you build. You build it by facing the cold shower in the morning instead of staying in the warm comfort of your bed. You build it by having that difficult conversation with a colleague instead of avoiding it. You build it by getting up early to go to the gym when your body is screaming for more sleep. You build it by pushing through the last few reps of a workout when your mind is telling you to quit. And every single time you do that, you get stronger. Not just physically, but mentally and emotionally. You become a person who doesn't run from pressure, but walks directly into it, with their head held high. Discomfort is a mirror. It shows you who you really are. It reveals where you currently stand, and it is brutally honest. It doesn't lie to you. When you're doing something that truly stretches you, you feel every part of yourself come to the surface. Your doubts, your excuses, your fears, they all show up. And that is the precise moment where you grow. Not by avoiding them, but by walking straight through them. You prove to yourself that you're not here to play it safe. You're here to rise. You're here to lead yourself. You're here to take the pressure and keep moving forward. Doing what's uncomfortable isn't about being reckless. It's about being deeply committed. Committed to becoming a better version of yourself. Committed to doing what most people are unwilling to do, because that's where the competitive edge is found. That's where you separate yourself from the pack. The individuals who get ahead are not always the most talented. They are the ones who are willing to do what is hard, without waiting for the perfect moment. They take the cold plunge. They make the tough phone call. They train when it hurts. They put in the work when nobody is watching. And over time, that kind of relentless discipline builds real, unshakable strength. You don't need a massive, life-altering challenge to grow toughness. Start with what is right in front of you. Choose to finish the task you've been procrastinating on. Say no to the easy comfort that pulls you backward. Speak the truth when it would be easier to stay quiet. Lift the weight that feels heavy. Take the path that demands more effort. These small, daily actions, repeated over and over, stack up. They build a foundation of grit. And that foundation is what will hold you up when life inevitably hits you hard. Comfort is sneaky. It whispers to you that you're fine right where you are. It tells you to relax, to take it easy. It assures you that you've done enough for today. But deep down, you know the truth. You know you have more to give. You know the easy way out will not take you where you ultimately want to go. And that is why you must challenge yourself on purpose. Don't wait for life to force you into a corner. Put yourself in situations that demand more from you. Practice showing up when it's inconvenient. That is where toughness is forged. No one becomes great by staying inside their comfort zone. Greatness is built in those moments when you feel like giving up, but you choose to keep going. It's built in the mornings when you don't want to move, but you push through anyway. It's built in the discipline to face your weakest areas and systematically work to improve them. And that takes courage. That takes a conscious decision to be more than what is easy. That takes a choice to put in the reps, day after day, even when there is no spotlight, no praise, and no applause. You don't have to do something extreme to build toughness. You just need to stop running from what is hard. That's it. You need to stop making comfort your primary goal. Make growth your goal. And growth never comes without discomfort. The more you avoid what is hard, the weaker you become. But the more you face it, the stronger you get. Not just in your body, but in your will. And your will is what carries you forward when motivation inevitably fades. There is immense power in doing what you don't feel like doing, because every time you do, you are proving to yourself that your feelings do not control you. You are proving that you can show up and perform regardless of how you feel. And that is what builds profound trust with yourself. You stop negotiating with your weaker self. You stop overthinking. You start acting. That is what tough people do. They don't need to feel perfect. They just need to move. Most people wait for the right mood to strike. But moods are unreliable. Discipline isn't. You can't wait to feel like pushing yourself. You push yourself until it becomes your new normal, until it becomes who you are. And eventually, the things that used to feel impossible start to feel like your standard operating procedure. That's growth. That's the tangible result of choosing what's uncomfortable, again and again. You can tell a lot about a person by what they do when no one is watching. That's where toughness is truly visible. Not in public, not in front of others, but in private. When no one sees the effort and you show up anyway. You do the extra set in the gym. You write one more page of the report. You stick to your plan. That kind of character is rare, but it's what separates those who rise from those who stay average. You won't always get it right. Some days you'll avoid what's hard. Some days you'll fall short. But that is not what defines you. What matters is how you respond. Do you get back up and do better? Do you stay committed to the process? If you do, you will see something powerful happen. Your mind stops doubting. Your spirit grows stronger. Your confidence becomes unshakable. Not because everything is easy, but because you have proven to yourself, time and again, that you can do what is hard. And here's what most people fail to understand. Discomfort is not the enemy. It is the training ground. It's where your real strength gets built. The days you want to quit, but don't, those are the days that fundamentally change you. Those are the days that teach you who you really are. So if you want to get tough, don't wait for the perfect challenge. Make today your training ground. Find one thing that pushes you and do it without hesitation. Start small if you need to, but make sure you start. Do one thing each day that stretches your mind or your body. One thing that makes you nervous. One thing that forces you to level up. That kind of consistency builds grit, and grit builds winners. You were not made to stay the same. You were made to grow, and growth demands challenge. So instead of fearing discomfort, start choosing it. Start letting it shape you into someone stronger, not just for today, but for the rest of your life. Because when your mind is trained to face what's uncomfortable, nothing can stop you. You become the kind of person who doesn't break. You might bend, you might adjust, but you keep going. And in the end, you don't just survive, you rise.